After 6 months, I mean, we started 10,000 a month. Then it started 20,000 a month. Then you're doing 30,000 a month. Then you're doing 40,000 a month. Then what am I? A year and some change, we did six figures.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Lion's Den today. I'm pumped up to have Travas Marko from Economy Drain and Plumbing, located here right in Philadelphia. He went from when I met him about 18 months ago to having 2 employees to 14 in a year and a half. And we're going to talk about how he grew, how he scaled his business, and how his dreams are now happening because he's making the right decisions day by day, and you can too. Travas, welcome to the show.
Hey Lance, how's it going, pal?
You're 30 years old. I got to meet you, about 18 months ago now?
Yeah.
Let's talk about your journey, right? You're a Northeast kid, well, guy now, right? You're 30 years old, you're a man. You grew up in Port Richmond, correct?
Port Richmond, Fishtown. Then I went over into the city. I worked for the city for a while. It was risky. Left my city job. Took a big shot. I mean,
when I met you, you were still working at your city job.
Correct.
And I remember you, I hate to use the word scared, you were scared shitless to leave.
Yeah.
And I said, if you don't believe in yourself, who the hell is going to believe in you? You remember us having that conversation?
Yeah. So after that, I went all out. I mean, I invested everything I had, every dollar I had. Unfortunately, we didn't have to take no loans or anything, but I mean, I had a pickup truck, I had a drain machine, and a set of tools.
And you invested the rest of your money with One SEO with me.
There.
You gave it all. You're like, Lance, I have nothing left after this. I remember
at the time, I mean, we were probably only doing like 5,000 a month, and then I come link up with you guys, and then I'm like, I don't even know if this is gonna work. Like, if it don't work, I'm screwed. I don't know what I'm gonna do after this because it's mainly my income. So we took the shot. We were doing fine. You know, things were going. We were getting calls. We were going. But like after the 6-month part, like you promised, you said, you know, it takes up to 6 months to really for everything to start working. After 6 months, I mean, we started 10,000 a month. Then it started 20,000 a month. Then you're doing 30,000 a month. Then you're doing 40,000 a month. Then what am I? A year and some change, we did six figures.
First time ever you did six figures.
6 figures.
I mean, did you think? I mean, you're 30 years old. Like I said, like you're in. I'm from Tacony. I came out here to Council Rock. Everybody knows that. But did you think a Port Richmond guy would have a kid 4 years ago? You'd have a multi-million-dollar business because $100,000 a month makes you $1 million a year plus business in the top 1% of America, and it's only going to grow. I mean,
I didn't think it would grow as fast as it did. And
I told you it would. Listen.
I got friends that are plumbers who have plumbing companies that are smoked. They're speechless. They don't know how I'm getting these jobs. They don't know where these contacts are coming from. Like I was telling you, like we got a call from Citco Fuel. Now Citco brought a project to us because multiple plumbers were scared they could do the plumbing, but they can't do the excavation side of it. Now it's like 21 8-inch water mains coming off a Hog Island Road. It's a multi-million-dollar project. I think it's $2.5 billion fuel addition they built onto the Philadelphia airport, which I'm only a company that's a year and a half old getting shots to put proposals in for multi.
Because we talked, me and you talked, and listen, full transparency, me and Travas have become friends. I like to say, you'll stop by, when you see me in the city, you beep, like you're a good guy, you know. But I said to you, you gotta build your brand that people trust you that don't know you.
Your name's everything. I mean, there's times I took losses, so my name
we talk about
didn't get demolished. So like, you know, it's hard when you're on the service side of business and you're in rough areas of Philadelphia, and you know you got people that don't want to pay. They call you to do the work. You do the work, and they don't want to pay you.
But I tell you and I tell the people, don't worry about them. Keep your eye on the prize, and it's working. Did you ever think Citco would be calling you a year and a half ago? And you text me like, that's not your only big company. It's now called you. No. I'm hanging with the big boys now. You have your truck out.
Philadelphia Produce Center. It's the biggest produce center on the East Coast. It's a distribution center who probably every fruit market gets their fruit from. We do all their plumbing.
And they didn't know who you were prior to. And that's the power of digital marketing. But the one thing I give you credit for is you remind me of Matt Ratjab, Josh Cherry. There's so many people that I've seen grow their business because A, you believe in relationships, not just with us, because I think our relationship is very good. Right? You constantly ask me questions, even business advice. What do you do? What do you do? I think people don't get, it's more than just the digital marketing. It's also building that brand, getting your reviews we talk about, doing the right thing, having systems. Can you talk about that part, about why your name is so important to you and why building your brand up is so important?
So basically, that's all you got in this world is your name. So when they're calling economy, they're calling for service. So when I don't hire guys that ain't going to deliver what I would deliver to these customers. So it's, in the beginning, it was hard to hire guys because they weren't up to my standards, because I didn't believe that they would deliver what I would deliver. So it was hard, and I'm still having that. In this trade, it's hard to find good people that are going to deliver quality service. And I mean, I'm sure that's in every trade. So
Trades are coming back, and trades are coming back stronger than ever. We're going to talk about that. But I got to tell you a funny story. I was down Wild with my family about 2 months ago, and somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, you're the guy, Lance Bachmann." I'm like, "Yeah." So you are friends with Travas Marko from my neighborhood, and she works over in Jersey at this medical place. She's like, I see him keep growing, mate. I'm like, Travas is going to be a multi-millionaire one day. And she starts laughing. She goes, "He's a plumber." I literally started laughing. I said, "Man," I'm not going to say her name. I said, "You don't understand how hard that kid works and what he puts into it and how much time he grinds." And the customer, I said, he went from, I think 3-4 months ago, we were at 10 employees. I'm like, yeah, 14 now, 13. I'm like, yeah, 2 employees then, 10 now, and he has no debt. He's doing it all organic. He's listening to the Lance Bachmann method of,
so
just keep reinvesting, don't take debt.
I think we invested $30,000 in the beginning, like hydro water jets, the best jet, the best camera, the best drain machines, and that was it. I got 8 trucks. I got a backhoe. I got a brand new $30,000 compressor.
And not an ounce of debt.
Nope, I don't finance nothing.
And who gave you that advice?
My man Lance.
That's
and
right.
I go in plumbing supply houses. They're like, "Oh yeah, you should open a line of credit." I said, "Listen to me, buddy. I don't like bills. I pay. You can put my card on file. My guys can come in here. I'll give you their name to order whatever. I don't want no overhead."
And people say you have to leverage debt to build these service-based businesses. That's not true. You don't have to. You just don't be a pig and live on the hog. And keep it simple, live a good life, you're going to keep making money. Now, granted, if you want to add 10, 15 employees on the next 30 days, you'd have to leverage debt, and that's not a bad thing if that's what your vision is. But you're more like me, keep it organic, keep it growing, let's have fun while we're doing it, and let's make money, and let's take care of our employees.
Exactly, and this month right now is the first month I ever cut myself a check. Paid myself as an employee.
Well, congratulations, you deserve it.
It was the hardest trying to get everything to grow and stay afloat. You got digital marketing. I got equipment. My tools break. Them jets, people don't understand. I'm like, "Oh yeah, hydro water jet and so expensive." I blow through $2,000 hoses twice a month.
Let's talk about the challenges of running a business. I mean, you worked for the city prior to this. You went out on your own. We talked about it. Most of your employees are older than you. I mean, you're a young guy.
They are older than me.
And you're very laid back. You are. I mean, I know you're not laid back when it comes to certain businesses, but you are. Your personality is very, I'm very woo.
Yeah, I mean, you're on fire. I wish I had your energy.
But you're laid back. What's your biggest challenges with just your employees, business over the last, what have you learned?
I learned a lot. I mean, patience. Something I never had growing up. Even when I had my first son, I really didn't have much patience. He taught me patience. But still, you just got to go into it calm, because you go in it, you make wrong moves. You go in there hyper, you make the wrong moves. And in this industry, there's a couple big jobs I walked away from because I was calm. And I seen what they were trying to do to me. And I mean, the advice that I give anybody, just don't take every job. Don't be scared to turn it down, because there's a nightmare behind it. And when I tell you, it'll cost you your business if you don't dot your I's and cross your T's.
What is the biggest part of your business you're working on right now?
Growing. It's trying to find qualified workers, and I try getting young guys and training them, putting them under apprenticeships. So they do a 4-year apprenticeship under my company. They become a journeyman. And as they go along, their pay gets higher. And they become a journeyman. And eventually, after the 5th year, they can become a master plumber. And I'd rather see someone grow because I had their foot on my back for a long time growing up. So I said, I don't care. If they can work with me and grow with me and they want to go out on their own. I have 2 master plumbers now that can go out on their own and they don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, what people don't realize is a plumber isn't a plumber. I know you wear an economy shirt, you're wearing khakis, but this isn't 30. You can make 100, 150,000, 200,000 just being an employee as in a plumbing company. You can make 6 figures.
My one master plumber, he's probably at 130,000.
130,000. Kids out of college after 5 years. Kids out of college. I can tell you right now, the majority of people I know that went to college aren't making 130,000.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been with me for a full year, but I mean, he's going to be there. That's going to be his salary.
I mean, that's amazing to me.
My drain cleaners make $27 an hour.
$27 an hour.
Drain cleaning. So the sky's the limit on their end, and I try and make it on my end. As hard as I work, it's just going to make them work as harder. I work as an employee with my guys. I don't be a boss until I have to be a boss. So, like, I still dig. I still drain clean. I still camera scope.
When I met you, I'm going to shoot it straight to you.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to get it. You were scared. You were nervous. You were
Yeah,
scared.
absolutely.
Actually, you were scared as shit, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Are you still?
I'm not scared. I'm
No.
just scared of what's ahead. Like, what else can...
You know, the fear, when we talked about you failing and if it doesn't work back a year...
I'm not scared of failing.
That doesn't even bother you anymore at all.
I'm not
it's just,
failing.
You just know.
I work
love
18-hour days no matter what. There's no way I can fail.
Most people...
Well, I'm never going to quit, so I'm not
Right.
going to fail.
But most people in your situation right now would be spending money left and right, buying new cars, upgrading their house. I think you have 2 children, correct?
I have 2 boys, yeah.
2 boys. You really haven't changed your lifestyle. You're actually one of the most humbling guys. I think it's what makes me like you. Like people say to me, "Oh, Travis is arrogant." I'm like, Travis is the one that like you remind me of Sam Zeitlin, right? You know Sam, my partner. Like, just nice guy, quiet until you irk him, and then he.
Yeah, I'm not fireworks. You like me, it's going to be an issue, but I'm.
Yeah,
it takes a lot to bother me.
Why are you not changing your life? Why are you keeping it so basic, simple still? Can you explain that to me? Because most people wouldn't be.
I came up from nothing. I still got nothing. I don't look at anything. I just go to work every day. I don't look at digits. I don't look at anything like that. I mean, that's my accountant's job. And I'm living normal. We're comfortable. I don't need $1 million house. I mean, I don't need $1 million car. I used to drag race motorcycles. I don't do that no more. It was a vice that I had that was just a waste. And I don't got no more vices. And I just work. And I stay with my family.
What's the funnest thing you love about business right now, Travis? Besides just growing.
Every day is different. You don't know what's you don't know who's gonna call. You don't know what's gonna happen. You just don't know. It's like a box of chocolates. You're never gonna know.
Life was like a box of chocolates.
A box of chocolates. Do you feel, it's funny, I'm going to bring this up out of nowhere. I actually had this conversation where I said to someone, every year my company's grown. We've been successful, actually all the companies I've owned. And I said, Lance, you just keep going, what motivates you? I said, I think the difference between Lance of 15 years ago, there was no stability, right? I was all over the place, I was single. Do you feel like having a family definitely made you say, laser sharp focus? Because somebody asked me that last night.
I was wild. I mean, growing up, I was wild. I mean, I grew up young. I hung out with older guys. But I had great mentors. They weren't the best, but they were good mentors. I learned from their mistakes, and I knew what direction I had to go. I know I couldn't go this way because it don't work.
No.
There's no way about it. So I always stayed on that path, and I never really did drugs or anything. I partied, lived down the shore for like 4 years, got shore houses, like any normal kid, teenager, till I was like 20-something years old. And then I focused on me, like my family, like getting a family. Like I didn't even have a girlfriend at the time. Like I would have girlfriends, but I
I
never
got
really
you.
had girlfriends.
You're a good looking cat.
So I never
get it.
really was. I was always on my path. Like I was always doing something to build me in the future, and I just kept running with it.
But do you think your wife and family's helped add to your growth right now?
Absolutely, they're my structure. Without them, there's no me right now.
Yeah. See, I said that to someone yesterday. I said he's single, and he's 38 years old, and
You're gonna
his
make
business- and I'm like, as long as you keep staying single, and not that you can't be single and be successful. There's many of them out there.
Yeah.
But I think if you have something that grounds you, my brother Fred said to me probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago, he probably doesn't remember saying this to me, he said, when you settle down, you're going to be the most dangerous entrepreneur Philadelphia's ever seen.
Now look at you.
But, because like you look at it, Travis, and you say, if you really think about it, that stability, the structure, you need to be a creature of habit. And a lot of people don't understand what a wife and kids can do for you, especially if you come from not the best
I
environment.
came from nothing, and then I tell everybody, they're like, "Oh yeah, everything you touch turns into gold." And
You got the
I'm like-
Midas touch.
And I'm like, touch? I said, I worked my ass off. Excuse me.
Why you say that?
I worked hard my whole life, so anything I do got, it didn't turn into gold. I made the gold.
For every single young kid out there, person out there that wants to own their own service-based business, right? Because I really believe it's just a widget. You change from tree removal, plumbing, HVAC, roofers. It's all just the widget, right? You got to have the drive. What advice would you give those entrepreneur kids that want to do what you're doing?
One, it's not going to come easy. Consistency is king. When you do start your business, answer that phone every time it rings. They want to hear somebody. They want to talk to a plumber. They want to talk to a roofer. There's not one call that comes through our line that does not get answered. And I don't care if it's 6 in the morning. I don't care if it's 3 in the morning, 12 in the morning. I was in Cherry Hill. My office was closed. I Ubered from Cherry Hill to my truck and hopped in a truck and did an emergency. There's no hours when you're an owner. You have no set hours. And you lose time with your kids, but you're also better in making a future for your family and your kids. I have 2 boys. My boys, I don't want them to go to college. I want my sons to be plumbers. It's a proven fact. I mean, you can go to college and spend a ton of money, but you're not guaranteed a job.
100%. I never asked this question. I don't ask many of my clients this question, but I remember, I don't really meet with many potential clients. I think you called me directly and said, I want to talk to you, if I remember correctly. I forget how
absolutely.
it went down. But I remember I got the chance to meet you the first time or second time you came in. I'm not sure because I don't meet people the first time, but
Yeah.
one of the first or second times. I know you said to me, I'm talking to 3 other companies right now, and I'm going through the process with them. What made you choose us? And do you think you'd be at where you're at if you didn't choose us right now?
To be honest, I mean, everybody was more commercialized, and same thing like how I run my business. I get to meet the face. You don't get to meet the man behind the screen. And you shot it straight forward. You're like, look, it takes time. It's going to take money, and you got to go with the flow. And, as a young company with an income as low as we were, that was a major shot. Like, if I go back now and think, I'm like, I'm nuts. Like, I'm crazy because what I was spending, I was barely making.
You were spending almost what you were
making
doing a month
to do advertisement.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my bills are still being paid anyway through my city job. So I was like, the business fails, it fails. Basically, I still have my job. My family's safe. So I'm like, I don't care. But at the time, I had a partner. My partner was scared to death. Scared to death. Even like 2-3 months of digital marketing, he's like, oh, it ain't working. It ain't going to work. I'm like, look, just ride it out. We got to ride it out. I said, no one in Bally-Kenwood's going to know about economy drain cleaning and plumbing from Philadelphia or Havertown or Northeast Philadelphia. We're new. Nobody knows us really. My family don't got a plumbing background. I wasn't handing down a business.
Yeah.
So I'm just a kid from Fishtown, Port Richmond, starting a business. I got to get this name out there. It got to be heard. Like you said, like there's no boundaries. You got to make sure they know that you're there. And they know we're there. And other plumbing companies know we're there.
But what was the deciding factor? Like, what was it? Like, I'm just curious because I remember our meeting. I remember us talking. I remember thinking you were a lot like my son Andrew, like just nervous. You were like kind of almost tinkering. Then I remember you saying, "Let's go."
Yeah, I mean, I take shots. I took the shot. It was a shot in the dark, and I really don't know much about I didn't at the time. I didn't, but now I think I could open an SEO company. But I'll stick to what I know. I didn't know much about it, and it's kind of like anything you go into you don't know much about. You're nervous. You don't know. When you go take that exam, you don't know if you're going to pass or you're going to fail, and sometimes people are scared to fail.
We talk about customer service all the time. You get heated about customer service with every one of your texts. Like, you called me up screaming, what do I say to them? How do I address with this? The customer has to come first. They got to do this. And not that you have any major problems, but when you do, I think you'll calm down over time and realize every business has problems. But why do you take customer service such to heart, if you don't mind me asking? Like, it's heartfelt when you talk to me about it.
Yeah, customer service, I mean, it's hard to tell a customer they're wrong. But at the same time, you got to treat them like they're right. So, I mean, it's really sometimes if it's going to a negative way, it's a lose-lose. You got to eat it. And it's so hard. For me, I'm always a person, like if I'm right, I'm going to argue I'm right 100%. I'll prove it to you. I'll show it to you, black and white, I'm right. But you got to bite the bullet and take that because your name's on the line. Are you going to get a bad review over $160? That's their fault. You got to eat it. There's no ifs, ands, buts around it. And I talk to other companies. They're like, no, we told them, no, they're paying for it. And I'm like, well, that's why you got 3.9 stars on your Google. That's why I'm ranked 4.9 because I accept their fault.
You're looking long term.
Yeah,
you're looking long term for everything. You're not a short term guy.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just delivering a product, a service that's 100% guaranteed. No ifs, ands, buts around it. But you can't win against the customer. I realize that.
I agree that.
That's the only loss I ever.
agree.
Out of a couple losses I ever took in life, they beat me up the most. Like they're the biggest losses I take.
What do you think is going to be the biggest thing coming down the pike over the next year for home service-based industries like you? What do you think is going to be the big? Oh, this is a game changer.
American Water Resources go bankrupt.
Really? You heard it here first. Travis, thank you so much for being on the Den. Here is an example of a Philadelphia native, born and raised, never went to college, never handed a nickel, never given anything. People have only tried to kick, take him down, and treat him like garbage, and build a successful multi-million-dollar business in less than 14, 15 months. You should be an inspiration for everyone, Travis. I hope people watching this look at you and know that they can be the next you if they just work hard. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Travis.
You got it, Lance.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to follow me at Lance Bachmann on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Facebook at Lance Bachmann Digital. And every Thursday we drop a new podcast. Don't forget to listen to it. We're giving out great content. And remember this is the time to build your business right now. Let's effing go, everybody.